What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to the Festival of Battles. We've got another attempt going here. We are on stage 45 against the Int Fat Boo. So I've been slowly grinding up to this point on my JP account. Last night before bed was grinding this for a solid hour and a half, and then I just locked my phone and put it away for the moment. Woke up today and then continued to grind for, another hour or so while I was recording a different YouTube video to get to this point, and then I figured we would pause right here. So I actually skipped the Beast Gohan phase because, so I guess as far as like continuity on my channel, I might as well show this. So my very first video that I posted of this event, I did get KO'd in the Super Saiyan 3 Goku phase just because I ran out of charges, didn't manage to finish his HP pool in time. So I guess technically I haven't shown the Beast Gohan fight yet on my channel, but don't worry, we'll get there eventually, I'm sure. But yeah, so we didn't have that one recorded, but we are here at stage 45 against Boo. So we're going to see how far we can get. And then so my max record actually is to this phase, but I don't have it on camera. So I'm probably, obviously I won't be able to show it. So I'm hoping that we can at least get back to this phase, and then more than likely get further. Even would be the best outcome, obviously. All right, so we are on Boo now. Let's keep chugging along here. We still do have a long ways to go before the end of the fight. So just to not keep you guys here all day, let's get going. Okay, so just to kind of check in on our numbers here, everybody is stacking up very, very well. Let's see, we've got Namek Goku is already up to, is that 10 million defense? Wow. Okay, yeah, because Namek Goku's already up to 10 million defense, I don't feel the need to keep him on rotation. I feel like the 10th anniversary LRs are the ones that are lacking in defense a little bit. So that being considered, I kind of want to keep stacking their defense slot 1. I think that's going to be a good idea. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So we'll grab these. We can get a nice 24 key for him. We'll get a fair amount of key for them as well. Remember, getting both of those units over 20 key is going to give them the additional, so that's very helpful. And then for the next rotation, I'm not sure what the best idea is going to be. Orb-wise, it would make sense to have the Super Saiyan 4 second, so that we can get those physical orbs for them. We'll see how it works out, though, on the next rotation. Okay, so remember, at this point in the fight, we've got 3 turns worth of charges, the 9 charges total, to be able to finish off the enemy, so we'll see how we do here. This is the reason why I wanted to start here, is because this is probably the biggest ramp up that happens in the game until this point. Obviously, like if you're just considering the increase in enemy power, then there are a couple of bigger ones toward the end and a bigger one earlier on, right? But the one that happens at stage 40 against the Int Full Power Goku, where all of a sudden the HP pool triples and the damage numbers double. The thing that helps with that is that that's the same point where you get the 3rd turn where that starts. So it doesn't really hurt that bad that he has so much extra HP. And then it's still, again, a steady incline, kind of until you get to this point. I mean, it is still a steady incline at this point from the stage previous. It's just now we're reaching the point where, because that steady incline that's been happening for the last 5 phases is such a more drastic incline, it's such a bigger jump per stage that, like, the enemy is starting to outclass us a little bit, right? So yeah, just a definite another choke point. Okay, let's see where his HP is at. Okay, that's not too bad. I think we're definitely looking pretty solid here. As far as the amount of damage output we've done, yeah, that's plenty enough. And we have the LR Super Saiyan 4s on the next rotation, who have type advantage, so that's going to be pretty helpful for the amount of damage we're doing here. Oh yeah, with those extra crits, we're doing very nice work with Namek Goku. Okay, and then obviously our defense is going to be plenty high enough to tank this. His raw defense alone, without any other pieces of his kit to consider, was already double the damage output of this super attack, so we're still not going to have to worry about the super attack output until maybe next turn would be, or next phase would be the first phase where we actually have to consider whether we could survive from some of the supers, right? Okay, so kind of the deal that I'm looking at here is putting AGL Goku slot 1. Obviously, his defense is a lot lower, and he definitely would get KO'd from a super attack. But the super attack cooldown is 11, and we know he just did the super attack at the end of the last turn, so I don't even need to Scouter Fish to find out whether he's supering in that first slot. I know for a fact that he's not. So because of that, we can put AGL Goku first, and then we will do the LR Gods, or the LR Super Saiyan 4s after. Let's go ahead and get them this one Rainbow Orb so that they can get a little bit of extra crit chance on there. I think would be nice. And then I'm also just trying to consider setting up orbs for next turn. We're not going to be able to get an 18 key with this Goku, so I'm considering... Let's just do this. I'm just going to grab the one Tech Orb for them. That way we still have a couple of different options in order to get, like, 3 orbs or more for the next rotation. Obviously, that's one of the things that hurts us the most as we go through these later phases of the fight. Is that once you have 3 turns, like, it's honestly better earlier on when you only have, like, the 2 turns, because then you have, you know, 1 turn to just, like, select orbs, and then that second turn, you can either conserve a little bit on the first turn to make sure that your second turn you have a really, really nice orb field, or you can, you know, select everything on the first turn, and then you only have, like, that 1 extra turn that you have to worry about, like, having bad key spheres before it moves you on to the next phase, because, you know, you obviously would have KO'd by then, and then, you know, and then you don't have to worry about the orbs as much. And I guess, like, the reason it's not so bad is because on the 2-turn phases, for most of the 2-turn phases, you're pretty easily clearing the entire phase in 1 turn. So that extra turn, even if you do have bad key spheres, and you're not able to, like, optimize all of your units' kits, usually you're still going to be fine to do enough damage to, you know, get by. But on these next couple of phases that we're about to face off against, having... like, the 3 turns, it's not like that, where we're able to just kind of easily clear it in 2 turns, and then the 3rd turn doesn't really matter. Usually you're going to need all 3 turns in order to get through this. I mean, Boo is, like, a little bit of an exception to it. I suppose the next phase is as well, because the HP pool actually goes down on the next phase because he's got the dodge chance. But then after that, that's definitely going to be true, right? So yeah, having bad orbs for a couple of rotations in a row would definitely hurt us. Alright, obviously here it looks like we're doing fine enough. Again, as I was saying, I do want to prioritize the defense numbers for... Maybe I should... Let's see. So I'm just thinking about the way that I got KO'd last time was because I had the... Okay, I want to keep the gods on rotation. I do want to keep the gods on rotation. The next phase we're going up against is going to be against the Tech UI here. So I'll rotate off the AGL Gogeta, just to prioritize not having as much, like, type disadvantage or whatever. I think that will be smart. So yeah, with that considered, I guess we'll just go ahead and give ourselves some defensive stacks here, and then we can just give these to the gods. Yeah, they're not able to get an 18 key anyway. And then I guess we'll grab some same type orbs here. So we've got one more Dokkan attack that we're going to be able to launch coming up in the next couple of phases. It doesn't look like it's quite high enough that we'll get it off for the Tech UI, but it looks like we might be able to do it on the Super Saiyan Goku. Honestly, the most ideal place to get it would be on the Daimagoku and Glorio phase. So maybe I should try not to select same type orbs to keep that Dokkan gauge down a little bit. I don't know, though. It's probably going to pop on the Super Saiyan Goku phase. Just because 3 turns, that's 9 selection of key spheres that we have to do twice in a row. I don't know. Selecting key spheres 18 times, I'm pretty sure that that Dokkan gauge is going to pop by 18 selections, regardless of if we have same type orbs or not. So I think that being considered, it's probably best for me to get the Dokkan attack to pop as quickly as possible so that I maybe have the potential to do one more before the very end of the fight. That could potentially, like, help us out in the final phase or something. So yeah, with that considered, we are going to prioritize same type orb selection for the entirety here. Okay. So AGL or Tech UI here, he's got an 11 attack cooldown, 15% chance to proc that super. This is the point where, okay, his super attack is going to be doing almost 12 million damage. This is the point in the fight where we get to the point it might be worth it to start scouter fishing, right? Because obviously the best way to run this rotation would be like this, but if we see that that super attack doesn't proc until the second slot, then we're definitely going to want to put the Super Saiyan 3 Goku here instead, right? Because he is obviously at a much lower defense number than the Super Saiyan 4s. So I am going to scouter fish this. Let's go ahead and see where this super attack is at. Okay, the super attack is in the first slot. So with that, we know we can app reset here. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through with our rotation like this. Now, so pretty much for the remainder of the fight, the strat is going to be for me to keep these two, Super Saiyan 4s side by side, because obviously their links are doing very good things for themselves. So yeah, I think that's going to be just a pretty solid rotation that I don't want to break at this point. The only reason I will break it is if we get to a point where, where there's like some type of really threatening thing happening in slot 3, and the main unit that I want to put there is the Super Saiyan 4s to like protect me against being KO'd or something. But other than that, I think this is going to be the best way to go. Okay, and then normally speaking, what I do with Namek Goku, because he's pretty freely at 18 key, and he doesn't get any other buffs in his kit from being higher than anything else, like 24 key or 20 key or anything like that, I usually try to select the least amount of orbs possible with him, just to save them for all of these other key-hungry LRs that we have on the team. But for this phase specifically, well, actually, we have less damage that we're dealing, or that we need to deal, because he's got the 450k HP, and we still have 3 turns. So yeah, I think even with this, I'm gonna go with this. I'm basically banking on the power of our team to say that we don't need to rely on the full power of our one type advantage unit here in order to finish this off in the 3 turns. And I think it would actually be wise... Oh! Am I going to eat my words here? He already dodged one of our most powerful supers that we're going to deal. But yeah, I think it would be wise to maybe hold back just a tiny bit so that we can actually do something with that 3rd turn and get a couple of extra stacks in. Because obviously we're getting to the point where the enemies are looking very, very scary, and every single stack that we get counts, right? As far as being able to, like, actually clear through the event. Okay, so yeah, that really hurt, that first super attack being dodged. Hopefully we won't see any more happen like that. Okay, and then obviously them being pre-transformed, they are not going to be countering or anything like that, so no extra damage from that stuff. Okay, please have this hit. It's only a 10% chance for him to dodge, so hopefully that's the only dodge we're going to see him do, right? And if he is dodging, then hopefully he's at least going to dodge like our additional supers that don't hit as hard, or, God forbid, any normal attacks that proc. And then, very nice that these are connecting, right? Because these do have type advantage, so they're going to be hitting a little bit harder. Right, very nice. Cool, no dodges, no dodges. We love to see that. Okay, what's his HP looking like? Oh yeah, see, we're still doing plenty of damage, and we even have 2 full turns left. So I think even if he were to dodge like one of our strongest attacks on both the next rotations, I don't think it would matter. I think we're still probably going to be able to finish him off pretty handedly here. Wow, that was all without the extra guaranteed super that Namek Goku gets from getting hit. That's kind of impressive. Okay, I think I want to keep the LR Gods on because we're going to be transforming them soon. So they're not going to have quite as many turns to keep stacking as, like, these Gogetas would. Let me first see... So I need to compare them. Throughout the fight, I've been doing this consistently where I have to try and compare their offensive and defensive stats. It looks like the friend unit is just a little bit higher than ours. I'm curious if maybe I should try, at this point, to fully focus on the friend unit and then kind of leave mine in the dust on slot 3. And then that way, the friend unit would be, like, very ready for the final phases of the fight, whereas mine will probably just be not quite as good. Yeah, I wonder. I'm not really sure what the best answer would be for that, to be honest with you. I guess. Let's do that. And then, typically speaking, you would only want to have them transformed into the tag switch version if you're going to be having them in slot 1. But I think this should be fine for this rotation. Now, I could Scouterfish here to see if we're going to be able to survive a super. Which, oh, actually, I do need to be a little smart about this. Because if there's like a slot 1 super or something, then the LR Gods would get destroyed. So, in fact, let me go ahead and Scouterfish. So we're going to need to transform into Vegito here real quick and find out where that super attack's going to be at. Is there no super? Wait, am I tripping? Does he not have a Scouter? Hold on. Okay, yeah, no, he does. He does have a Scouter. He gets a Scouter for 4 turns. So there is no super attack on this rotation. Okay, so then we can go ahead and app reset again. Okay, so the way we've got our rotation set here should be fine, since we know that there's no super attack we have to worry about for the turn, right? And because we still have the next turn as well, I'm not going to prioritize getting those rainbow orbs for the gods. I don't really want them to, you know, to do a, what's it called? Like, critical hits on this turn, I think would be nice. So now, as annoying as it's going to be to have to do this constant Scouter fishing, it's going to make it take, like, astronomically longer to get through the end of the event because I keep having to reset the app and stuff. Wow, it happened again. He dodged our first super of the turn. I think ultimately it won't take as long to Scouterfish as it would to die to a silly accidental placement because of a super attack we didn't know that was there, and then just have to restart the entire event again, right? So, definitely worth it to just do our due diligence, take our time here, and make sure that we're staying protected on every turn, right? Okay, it's looking like we might just end up finishing him off here. That is definitely looking possible. So we're moving on to a very, very tricky phase on the next fight here. And then, yeah, it looks like the Dokkan attack will be proccing on that next phase, which is pretty good. We're definitely going to need it there, right? And actually, so I did bring items with me. I guess I haven't really gone over that part yet. We can talk about that a little bit on the next turn. But yeah, I did bring a couple of defensive items to help us. Because, you know, my best run that I did off camera, I did end up getting KO'd on this phase, and it wasn't because of charges. I just died to a super attack. In fact, he only had like 1 bar of HP left, and I still had an entire extra turn to be able to take him down, but then I got KO'd in slot 3 on the super attack. So, to avoid that happening, we are going to be Scouter fishing here, and, you know, I did even Scouter fish the last time that I took the KO, but yeah, I just ended up making the wrong judgment call. Okay, so let's see where that super is at. Slot 2. Perfect. Okay, so he's only got a 3.7 million normal attack. I'm thinking that the AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku should be good enough to tank it. Tank normals, like pre-super. Because ideally, the way I want to run the rotation is like this. So first, let's go ahead and reset the app, and then we will take a look at this. Okay, so the mistake that I made on the last run that I did, I didn't end up doing enough damage to this guy because of not having some certain units transformed. So I'm actually considering now transforming with the LR Super Saiyan 4s. Like, and then just having this be the point where they're permanently transformed, because then there would be 2 turns worth of damage with them, and that means that we'll counter the super attack, right? Which would be a huge deal for them to deal, like, even some extra damage. And then maybe transforming with the LR Gods on the next rotation as well. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give them 1 more turn of not being stacked. We'll see how things look at the end of this turn. And then on next turn, we can make that final decision on if we want to transform the gods then. And then, worst comes to worst, we're still going to have 1 more turn of the Super Saiyan 4s here, where we could just transform them on that next rotation, right? Obviously, either way, we're going to be sacrificing a little damage, not transforming them here. So hopefully we're not at that much of a damage deficiency that we're able to, you know, at least catch up on turn 3. So yeah, I'm gonna take that risk for now, and then we'll see. Okay, so how do we want to select orbs? I just want to make sure that we're optimizing selections for everybody around. So I guess we'll grab these for him. And yeah, I think that I did look at the kit during the app reset, and I think that the AGL Super Saiyan 4 Goku is going to be good enough to tank the normals in slot 1, because he does have guaranteed guard. So even though his defense is lower than the output, he's got a little bit of damage reduction, and he has guard, so I think he's going to be fine. I think and hope that he's going to be fine. Obviously, there's no telling for sure. Man, oh man. Okay. I really feel like I need to transform them. Something in me is calling toward the transform them option. I mean, they have stacked quite a bit. Obviously, any more stacks that we could get would be even better. But I just feel like we're going to need it. Because as far as the items I have, I've got a Whis and a Ghost Usher, which is only going to help us defensively. And then the Goku's Family Support Memory, which isn't doing anything for them because they're not on Goku's Family because they have the Vegeta on the card. And then also, they can't get a 20 key super here for the additional. It's only 19, but if I transform them, then they're going to do some rainbow orb changing, and then we probably will get some better orb selection. Okay, I'm just going to do it. Yep. Last time I got KO'd on this phase, again, it was because I held back too much, so I think if we just start going all out here, that's going to be a better idea. Okay, so yeah, and then now they're still in the way of the super attack, but they could potentially counter the super attack, and in fact, they have a pretty good chance to, right? Okay. So yeah, we'll do that. And then I think this works out because the LR gods have not... Oh man, they aren't tanking. Oh no! Bruh. I thought he would have been fine because of the... Wow. That's very stinky. Okay, well, that is now my highest, that's still my record. That's still the farthest that I've gotten, then. Except last time I made it all the way to the end of that fight, and this time I... well, that's a feels bad. Okay, okay, well, that's gonna be my new highest, recorded on record. I imagine that I'm gonna do a little better eventually here. It's just I'm still working out some of the kinks with how to operate at the end of this event. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, well, that's gonna go ahead and do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys for the next attempt. Peace.